All right, we're going to start rumbling. This is going to be fun. I get the opportunity now to be able to introduce our governor, CL Butch Otter. So, quickly, Butch, how many days does Governor Otter have still left in his?
120.
120, coming right directly from the governor himself. Thank you. Now, even more important, as you look at it, if you can tell me right now what CL stands for, you win Heidi's Jeep. Go ahead. Okay.
Planet Leroy.
There it is. Okay. Very, very good. Bobby Joe, you just won a Matchbox truck. So it's inside baseball right there. I like that. All right. So let me just tell you a little bit about Governor Otter. He's been a strong business leader and a government leader, and is the 32nd governor of Idaho. And he's been in 3 different terms from 2006, 2010, and 2014. And he's actually what has been the longest incumbent governor in the United States in his time of office consecutively. And he's won 10 straight elections, so congratulations to that governor. And he's also, I wanted to tell you, he's been a champion for technology and innovation. Back in about 2010, when the current chairman of the Idaho Technology Council and I met with Rich Ramondi, and I met with the governor. And the governor looked at us, and he's always been very focused on the idea that he wanted to deliver and find out how he could help industry grow to make a more prosperous Idaho. And he looked at Rich and he goes, "Rich, tell me what I need to know." Governor, usually I do an impersonation of me at that point, but I decided to skip that. And I said, "Tell me what I need to know." And at that point, Rich looked at him, and the governor had just got back from a trade mission to China. He said, "You know, economic development is about," notice how the noise comes up from down below. Economic development is about growing it, mining, extracting it. And so Rich looked at him and he said, "Talk about economic development in terms of building a knowledge-based economy." And since that time, I really, honestly, the governor has always been, he's been very focused on growing a knowledge-based economy. We've been very honored to be able to work with him on certain initiatives and him to drive initiatives and work alongside him. So, ladies and gentlemen, Governor Butch Otter.
Well, thank you, Jay, and welcome everybody. Kind of an exciting day for a lot of reasons. In fact, the first time that Rich and Jay and I talked, when we were talking about your very industry, we could have held that whole meeting in a phone booth. It wasn't too long after that when we decided we needed to build that base, and how do we go about it? What's our strategy? Well, one of the first things we did was we said, well, we got to go to the intellectual providers of Idaho. We got to go onto the college campuses. And so we invited several of the presidents in to talk to us about what they could do. And I'll never forget Bob Kustra from Boise State told us, and I think it was in about 2011, something like that, that previous year, he had graduated 250 social workers and 25 software engineers. He said, "Bob, we got to turn that around." And he said, "Well, then I need your help." And that then became the genesis, the idea, the first seeds that were planted for what we refer to affectionately as iGEM. And iGEM allowed us to, with the legislature's help, provide the necessary funding to go out and actually find some folks that otherwise the campuses themselves could not attract, and bring them in for research and for development. And I would tell you, it's helped every campus dramatically, but more importantly, it's helped the knowledge-based industry more than any other. Probably in the last 10 years, I've seen a greater advancement in the application of the state-of-the-art of technology to our traditional industries. And let's face it, folks, you know, we don't have a lot of gas and oil in Idaho, although we're starting to find a little. But we do have other base industries, and those have been the extraction industries, from our rich minerals to our forests in Idaho, not only the states and the private sector, but also the federal government, the Federal Forest Service. And so when you take a look, in fact, I can tell you when I was Lieutenant Governor in 1992, there were 64 sawmills in western Idaho. In the 1st Congressional District, and I remembered that because when I went to Congress representing the 1st Congressional District, a few years later, we made a count on it, and we found out that we had dropped almost half of those mills. But here's the remarkable thing. Those half of those mills today are still producing as much as 74 mills did because of the application of technology. The sawyer that runs the carrier that initially prepares the log, the saw log, for what kind of timber, what kind of products they're going to cut out. Used to be an old shadow line. There was a real bright light up above, and there was a bunch of lines on wheels. And they would change, because if he wanted to cut a 2x6, you know, he'd dial in there, give me a 2x6, give me a 1x4, give me a 2x4, give me whatever. That shadow line is gone. And it was replaced by 64 computers looking at every dimension of that saw log. The length, in fact, I can tell you that miraculously, I worked in a sawmill, Brown Pine Lumber Company in McCall, Idaho, during my summer months between college years. And I worked the green chain line. There is no green chain line. I remember marveling at this shadow line that's gone. When I went through the mill up at Laclede here a while back, and watched them cut, it was a dogleg saw log, and they cut straight board out of it. And they did that all because of the miracle and the genius of the people that prepared and wrote those programs for that equipment that could look at that log quicker than anybody else possibly could. The other great thing that I've seen is my old business at the J.R. Simplot Company. I don't know if you like French fries, but I do. And occasionally, if you make a tour of the Simplot plant in Caldwell, they'll give you some free French fries. You know, it's like going to the brewery. You always get a little taste of the products that they're making. And I can remember that was the first place that I went to work in 1963 and worked in the plant. And we were producing 350 million pounds of finished product. We had 1,800 employees. They're producing now about 4 times that, with less than 200 employees. All because the entire plant has been programmed and engineered by software engineers. And so our industries in Idaho, whether it's mining or logging or agriculture, as we add value to those products, the first thing we've got to do is add the quickest value. And I would tell you that the companies that we have in Idaho, and the growth of those companies in Idaho have been pretty dramatic. Yes, we are the fastest growing state in the nation. Yes, and that, quite frankly, I believe was a result of how we came through the recession. We didn't make a lot of mistakes that other states did. We kind of spent within our revenue stream. We did a lot of cutting. But what we did was we just sat down and said, what's nice and what's necessary? We're going to focus on the necessary. And where do you find that? You find that in the Constitution, and you find that in the Code Book. What are the laws? In fact, I'll tell you one year where we said, well, there are a lot of laws here maybe we don't need anymore. And there was one year that it may not be exactly the right story, but I'm going to embellish it a little bit anyway. So, folks, your industry is on the grow, but more importantly, it's on the future. And the more of your talents and the talents that you grow here. Oh, one other thing. A report just came out this morning that you need to know about, because not only are we home growing this talent, whether it's on the college campuses or with the internships or the apprenticeships within your own organizations, the number one location for those people leaving Seattle, 3.9 million people in Seattle. The number one location for them to relocate is Boise, Idaho. In fact, they told me that for every 10,000 people in that 3.9 million population, for every 10,000 people, 1.1 people are leaving and they're coming to Boise. And they're coming to Boise because they see the excitement, the possibility, but also they see the tremendous environment and reception that you all have created for their kinds of talents. And so all I can do is continue to encourage you to work your magic, because it is working. It's working for Idaho, and it's working for our future. And it's changing a traditional industry. It's changing a traditional economy. When I became governor in 2007, ours was a $51.5 billion economy. Today it's about $67 billion economy. And most of that has come about as a result of the kind of knowledge-based technology, especially in the last 8-9 years, that we have grown in Idaho and will continue to grow. So all I can tell you is that you've done a great job, but there's a target-rich environment out there for us to do even better and grow even faster and grow even a greater reputation. So God bless you, and thank you so much for the efforts that you put in and what you're going to do, because I know you'll do it. Thank you.